All right, welcome once again to the UG Rugby Fan Zone. Brian Mohammed here behind the video, and with me are two gentlemen who represent both of these clubs. What a pulsating game between the Toyota Buffaloes and the Macquarie Impis. With me is Emmanuel Sama. Of course, you know his history, ex-official, but very much with the club that he has always been with, that is the Impis. And Charles Ryan Mwandegu started from the Molagorams, now with the Toyota Buffaloes. So very much the happy one after that scare that he got and the Buffaloes pulling out the win. I'll start with you, Charles. Your team didn't start on a good note. So many things not going well. They were struggling in the scrum. They were playing in their danger area. But somehow they stayed in the fight 7-0 through the Impis at halftime. And when those changes came on, they turned it around. How was the 80 minutes, Charles?
I would say the first ones were shaky. We started off with a lot of confidence. I think we felt we are a powerhouse, and the boys first tried to shock us. Our defense was lacking, the communication was off, and we're playing completely off the script. It's like we're copying the opponent's game. But at halftime, we went back to the drawing board, moved a few pieces. The substitutions that came on hard, and they put on the points. I could say everyone went back to the script, and it all worked out well. And as you can see, the score, it's a well-deserved win.
You can afford a smile. Now back to Sama. Pretty tough one. You probably can't compare this game to the away game that Impis played against Mongas. So many things going well for them, territory, possession, but somehow decisions, letting them down. They started the game very well, had a good try, and then as they went on, they failed to pile on the points. They failed to, use that momentum. A little indiscipline creeping in the second half. Where do you think this game ran away from Impis?
I should say our first half was impressive. We were able to keep the Buffaloes scoreless. But I should commend the Buffaloes for a strong second half because our boys failed to answer over 4 tries scored unanswered, and we were unable to put in point on board. So a couple of unholding errors here and there. We failed to play in the right places. Our territory was abysmal. So we really struggled in the second half. And I think it goes down maybe to our conditioning. Maybe the boys weren't really conditioned very well. And also a couple of cards got in there. They opened us up, and so our discipline was really lacking, conceding penalties in those dangerous areas, and Buffaloes really capitalized. And they were able to we're giving them quick ball, they're enjoying the play, they're able to expand their play, running, moving their moves. So it really affected us. And also the pitch conditions weren't really favorable, but given that Buffalo trains from here, I think for them they're used to playing in such conditions. But I can't blame the pitch because we all played on the same pitch. But we'll do just better next time. Just a nick on our journey, but we'll keep building towards a bigger goal.
All right, thank you, Sama. Back to Charles. We talked about the things that Buffalo struggled with in the first half. Their scrum was second, to Impis, and also playing not in the right areas. But then again, when the coach looked to the bench, Hussein Shin coming in, or Tim Daniels coming in, Baja coming in, that turned the tide. Is that something Buffaloes is trying to, discover by having impact players, or it was just tactics and the game, the starters didn't do so well, and then he had to call on the subs?
I can't say the starters didn't do well because they turned out to be outstanding in all the training sessions to make the team. But whoever was on the bench and jumped on knew they had a mission to accomplish. The errors, we didn't really play in the Impis territory for the first half. That's why I say the confidence was beating us. Impis did the opposite, and they camped in our half for close to 30 minutes. The decision making was poor. We got a few on and offs with playmakers, but when we got a new scrum off, the bench came on. I think they were watching what was happening. They saw the errors that the teammates were making, and they cleaned up for the team. I think that's what makes us better at this and makes us better.
All right, Sama, back to you. In times like this, when so much has gone well for you, and then the game runs away from you, there's a lot of frustration, and rightly so. But if you look at these 80 minutes, I mean, you have to pick something positive, from the game. A very good first half, but unfortunately, rugby is played for 80 minutes. But when you look at the manner, how you played two contrasting halves, and one went for you, the other didn't. And of course, there's going to be frustrated, players in the locker room, and the coaching staff and the fans. But what positives do you pick from such a display? Because we have had Impis has really had a season above their expectations, competing very well in games that they have lost, also having very good wins. But what positive do you pick from this loss against the Buffaloes?
Maybe scrum dominance. The boys have really been working on that scrum and being able to push Buffaloes over their own ball. I think it was impressive. And some of the kicks for territory were really for the first half. Guys were really putting in those territorial kicks and contesting the breakdown aggressively. So the defense was really good in the first half. Of course, though it opened up later on, but first half, guys were really putting in those tackles because at the time Buffaloes was really knocking on the door and boys had shut down those legs. But I think the fatigue kicked in and they're able to finally wear us down. But at least the positive is the scrum dominancy and the boys are putting in the good carries. So we shall build from that for the next game and just work on endurance and being able to push the men to not just first half but also the entire 80 minutes so that we can give a display that can cut across the entire game to give us the results we want.
Thank you, Sama. Last with you, gentlemen, Charles, I'll ask you how important was Buffalo's winning on the day that your title rivals all had big wins. Paris had a big win. Cobbs also, Cobbs and Heathens pulling big wins in Ginger, Victoria Sharks as well. The last time we checked, they were leading the Mongas. But how important was that for you to win this game and with a bonus point?
Well, it starts with our goals. We are looking at a better seeding for the playoffs, and all our opponents, most close to walkovers, I could say, because they're putting up high scores. But staying up there gives the boys the grit to go for more because they have something to fight for. And I think come next weekend, as we face Victoria University, there's going to be some much better rugby. A better first half and a more some second half. That's all I can say.
Charles has already seen in the future and he says they will have better rugby. Summer, that Impis team still very young, with a lot of learning to come for them. How do you think they're going to finish the season? Can you predict where you think you finish on the table? And if most chances are that you will make the playoffs, how are you going to approach the playoffs?
Definitely have to make the playoffs because our goal was to really make the playoff and we are still in line to achieve that goal and we have to achieve it. But at this point, we can't really say we are going to be better say to get a good team to play a lower seed team. No. So right now we are playing whoever comes. So our goal is to be there. So we don't care if we're number 8 at this point or we are number 7, number 6. What we know, we have to be there, and then whichever team comes. But the good thing about this league format, despite this win, it's more of a build up to the playoffs. So we've seen our errors and we're going to correct those. And I just hope we meet Buffaloes again in the playoffs. It's just my humble prayer. And yeah, maybe we can play on a better pitch and we'll teach them some rugby. Hopefully.
Strong words there from Sama. He thinks they will have a better chance if they do play the Buffaloes. But thank you so much, gentlemen. I think Charles should buy you, Sama, a drink and you lighten up a bit. What a tough game. You lost the game. But thank you so much for sharing your time with us. And we hope to catch you again next weekend.
Yeah, cheers, mate.